Hey, after we're done, Gary, I need your address.
Okay.
Yes, let's disrupt the start. Hey, before we start.
No, I didn't. You didn't know. Like, the second I started, I was like, "Is this the face I
haven't
want?"
started yet. Oh,
He was gearing up to start. This is the next thing
nervous.
on the queue.
well,
Oh my
I'm
god.
making sure
Good
Gary
morning,
gets
good
his
afternoon,
ring.
good evening. Thank you, Dale, for continuing talking throughout my introduction. I really do appreciate it. Welcome back to the ADHD podcast, the video version. That's
I'm glad
right.
Everyone
We
moved to make sure that it was clear that we're on video.
these are not still photos. This is, in fact, is this technically? I guess no, it's not live. But live action.
We could
do this live.
We
We
could
could
do it
live
live.
stream this.
Well, then fuck it, we're doing it live. Until we do that, I am your host, MC, Master of Ceremonies, the same thing, Green Lanterns, aka Golden Brown Dush Buns. I bring to you three individuals whom I love and adore and are pretty okay at fantasy football. I'm going to start with our most recent champion to, as far as my screen is concerned, to my left, stage right, Dale Russell, the Maine Lobsters. Wait,
Main
attraction.
The Maine
yeah.
lobsters.
They're lobsters.
Yes!
It's their thing.
They are lobsters, but yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome to our draft review pod. I at some point I need to change my team name. I'm no longer in Maine, so the main attraction ends on top, and then I'm trying to come up with a new name, so I'm working on it.
He left all of his skill in the lobsters in Maine.
I don't know. I mean,
You
know,
can't change your name
I
though.
left the state of Maine as a rugby coach with a national championship, and then now the main attractions winning with the title.
Maybe you
with
just
the
take
title.
off the E, and so that you could be the primary, and then you can keep.
I don't. So like the Hornell attraction or the New
We're
York.
also joined by the other
well,
gentleman talking about the main attraction spelling. Lixon, or Elf, as you might know him. Coach and GM of these sex bombs, loving the name.
8.
Short, sweet, simple, you know I love it, big boy. And then our beautiful, oh so gracious, oh
Take one
so,
of these.
oh luscious, oh yeah, give me a little hair flip. Oh. That was the worst hair flip I think I've ever seen in my life.
Bro,
It was like,
I'm
no,
actually
no,
trying not to knock
Bro,
them
it
up.
was just like do a neck with it, like.
Dude, I'm gonna throw out my AirPods on my back.
Okay, throw 'em
listen
out,
to
put 'em
that
back
guy.
in.
Don't listen to that guy.
Anyway.
He doesn't know anything about the life.
Joined by our commissioner, Gary Lee Marmon, whose team name I have completely forgotten. Dinkin'
Flicka. What up, fellas?
Today we are bringing you an impromptu draft review, as Dale so sneakily snuck in there before I could tell the people what we were doing today. So I appreciate that, Dale.
I like how you threw it to Dale and he had no fucking idea what to do or say, dude. He was so fucking nervous.
So
first, so
yeah, you're good. But now he wants to be quiet. So we're gonna go through first, maybe the second round of the draft. Just talk about the trades that went down, our feelings, what we got wrong, what we got right from the previous mock. Talk a little about where this league is going with our first year of the superflex. So I'm super excited for this
Tight end
season.
premium.
And tight end premium. I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about tight end premium. That's wild. But let's just dive into it. Let's go into the first
Professional
pick.
transition. Wait, not a professional transition.
Professional transition.
Damn it! I failed it on the first attempt. It's gonna when you see it live, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
He's gonna
I
cut all
flubbed it.
this out. We're gonna be laughing for no reason. The first pick. Is it up on your screen? No, I
Yeah,
can't
we're
see
good
it.
to go.
Oh, bet.
Professional transition happened. It's professional.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Where are you?
we
at?
are professionals.
I think the best person to talk about the 101 is sitting in this party.
And I shall. It was, and I've queued up the screenshot of what exactly it was. So let me queue up that screenshot that I queued up from before. That's Monster Hunter. Hold on. There we go. All right. In order to acquire the 101, I sent Ray Davis. You want to talk about that before we continue?
No.
No.
26 first from Gary, a 26 first from Ty, a 26 second from Russo, and then the 105 itself. And so in order to move up from 5 to 1, I sent 2 firsts and a second, and also Ray Davis.
So
Going price for the 101 these days, you know.
how are you feeling about it a few days later?
Well, so between that trade and last season, my team wasn't really that good, but the first repeat championship was on the line, and I felt like it would be disrespectful not to go in for it. So I made some moves to try to go in, and I didn't get it, whatever. Then I traded up to 101 to get Jeanty. Looking around my roster now, it feels pretty desolate. Like I've paid the price, and so that hurts. And that maybe I'm putting that onto the Jeanty trade when it's not really the Jeanty trade's fault. So after the aftermath, it's looking a little bit dicey, but I get to watch Ashton Jeanty on the Raiders.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
root for him.
Oh, that's pretty fun. It's always fun
Our
when, like,
emotion.
yes, we play with them.
Yeah,
Gary, what are you about to say?
We were kind of joking a few days ago, and we were like, this isn't the first 101 that Alex has traded up for that is a Raiders running back. Like we saw this happen with Josh Jacobs.
Holy smooth.
So Alex is nothing if not consistent.
He didn't trade up. I think he acquired that
I
the
earned that
old-fashioned
101.
way.
You earned that? Oh, that was
Yeah.
was that in the
That's
rebuilding
year-
years?
That was the year one.
Right at the very beginning of after the draft, that was when I traded Russell, Alvin Kamara, and I just said, all right, I'm going to go into rebuild first and just see what that looks like in Dynasty.
The Alvin
We're done
Kamara
talking
trade
about that
has
trade.
forever
It will be-
set
yep.
the running
Sure,
back
keep
market,
going.
and it's been shite ever since.
The only reason I counter that is because the CMC trade also touched the market, and so the CMC trade gave value back to seconds, and so it's just interesting.
We're bringing seconds back, baby.
Bring the seconds back around.
I think Justin Fields is like the only one of note from those seconds. Elijah Moore decided to be bad. Pat Frymuth is okay. Justin Fields and Michael Carter, the hardest hitting second string running back in the league, dude.
What happened to that kid? I can't believe that he's
I don't know, and I'm so
Arizona
sad, man.
last year.
Yeah.
I think
That
he
boy
was
was-
there.
He was like actually decent. It's so weird.
He was good, and I think he just had an injury problem at the end of the rookie season, I think, and then from there,
Well, it was
he never got his
him
time to
and
shine.
Javante at North Carolina. So neither of them really have been anything, which is
So should we just kind of like hit the draft holistically and give our thoughts about how we think it's going
Okay.
to?
Pick by pick, Jeanty won, locked in, didn't miss, loved it. It's funny because this is the inverse. Ray had 1 and 2 and had 2 running backs to pick from and sold 1 to the guy who had overpaid for it, which is an exact mirroring of when I had 1 and 2 and sold one of the running backs to the guy who would overpay for it. I don't know if it's overpay, whatever. The Jonathan
fine,
Taylor
right?
trade to then I took Clyde is me trading for Jeanty and him taking Hampton. I think it is likely that Hampton will be better than Clyde, but nonetheless, Jeanty 1, Hampton 2. That seems like a clean and easy selection.
By the
What
way,
if
it was
it's-
totally
what
right
if-
in the mock draft.
With that 1 and 2.
Well, everyone was thinking that he was going to take Travis Hunter too, and I was like, "There's no fucking way that he's not going to take Hampton after trading out of Jeanty."
Oh.
I feel like saying everyone
No.
thought is a bit
Yeah,
of a
I-
ring.
Everyone said. Everyone was okay. Alex was
No,
saying.
I said that I was going to trade up for Hunter at 2. That's where I was wrong. I didn't think Ray would take Hunter. I thought it
Well,
would
the
be Ty.
prevailing thought was Ty moving up to wherever it might be.
Right.
Right. It was the 2, 3, or the 4. Right. Because he probably doesn't get the 5.
Russell, let me get Travis Hunter.
Yeah. I think I'm okay with that. I think I've traded with you more this season than I have in the past 3 years.
You had.
and I think
I
that's
swear,
so
Gary
good.
single-handedly crushed our trade relationship by taunting you into believing that I was malicious. And so Russell was like, I would talk to him like, do not speak to me. I DM him, he'd like, no.
Dude, Russell does that to
all
everyone though.
because
He won't
This
trade
season,
with me either.
I've been very, very approachable in trade talks, and I've clicked a lot of buttons. We've had 3 trades this off season, right?
Welcome back.
So I don't know.
Welcome back to gameplay.
I don't know, man. When you see a first round pick leave and you get Teddy Bridgewater in your front right pocket, you kind of
A, live by
milk
your own valuations, and B,
right.
we gamble. It's
Yeah.
like playing poker and being like, well, I got these 5 cards. I will be making no changes.
Oh gosh. All right. Kevin at the 103 snags Henderson.
That's a little surprising, but not for the talent.
The
But, like,
consensus
what
was
was
we thought he
his
would go Cam Ward at 3.
right, because of the quarterback potential
Yeah.
need, or at least inconsistency with the current ones he had. Just
Right.
Daniels is fine. Smith probably fine. Jones.
Why
Yeah.
does Kevin hate Cam Ward? That's the real question.
That's a good point.
I mean, Cam
think
Ward did
that's-
fall all the way to 1-7.
All the way to the
so-
7th. I don't think like a lot of people hated him up there at the one
Well,
through that.
at this point, though, like at 3 to Kevin could have made sense. At 4 to Russell could have made sense, but Russell had already kind of established that he was not super high on Cam Ward compared to the other guys available. Though I think you probably primarily wanted to move out of that pick.
Right.
5 at Ray, he couldn't really take him there with the value, like the talent on the table. And then Ty wrote the name down on the sticky note since the beginning of time. And so only until 7 did that question, I think, become available. So it is wacky that he
Gotcha.
slid that far, but I think there was also a really strong upper tier of talent that's just hard to argue with before quarterback. It's not like Cam Ward is a prospect that people are excited about. He's just
Right.
good and probably
He's definitely, in recent memory, feels like one of the more disrespected 101 quarterbacks taken in the NFL draft. Because I doubt moving forward for a long time you're going to see a quarterback that's drafted at 1 in the NFL draft fall to the mid first in a rookie draft for superflex. So
Superflex.
Then again, maybe we just our little ADHD pocket. Maybe we, don't listen to the super flex impressions.
yeah, for sure.
Each league has its own meta, you know. what I
Exactly.
mean?
This, it's its own market, and so you can kind of see, and again, I was having a sidebar conversation with Alex about this. I think that this is going to be the first year of Superflex and tight end premium, so we'll see how things change after everyone kind of sees it play out for a year, and kind of see how it feels.
I should have valued that.
Yeah, when
Or,
you
"Oh, no,
when
I
you
should
when you
not
have to start
valued
that second quarterback every week, I think it might change people's mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the 104, Charles Hunter. The team was kind of balanced in what I had. Nothing there was super strong. The no one position was crazier, better, or weaker than the other. So the nice thing was I was able to let the draft come to me, and that's why I was kind of okay with just sitting on the 104. And it's I think anything that I grab there, I'm gonna be okay with. Hunter over McMillan. Honestly, I just wanted to gamble on the character at this point. The skills there and the talents there, obviously, right?
I think that's consensus
Typically, I'm
ADP
not
at
a
this
big
point,
fan.
anyways.
Is it? All right, well then, yeah, never mind. Well then, I am just a normie who follows ADP lists.
Also think they're in a tier together, so it's pick
your
your
poison.
favorite, basically.
Yeah. Same. I just took Charles Hunter. What did you guys have me take?
TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah,
under the assumption that Cam Ward was going 3.
Yeah, we were
Right,
thinking that
right,
one of the
right.
top 3 running backs would end up there. But yeah, I'm not surprised. This is, if we knew that Kevin was going Henderson at 3, this probably would have been the consensus pick at 4 in a mock draft for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
I was I still think there's a bit of a lingering surprise that Cam Ward fell past you, given that you've got Detroit's quarterback combo and
Bo Nix hype.
Bo Nix and Justin.
Bo
Fields.
Nix. Oh, that's nice. But Justin Fields is a dangerous rental at this point. We don't know what he's gonna be. So I could have seen it going.
Yeah,
forward,
it
but
Yeah,
definitely
I
could
I
have
would've taken
picked Ward, but I'm really not mad.
Yeah, I think for me, I was just at that point, it was a looking at that my QB situation. It was okay. I can get through week 6 before somebody gets benched or broken, right? So if I can snag somebody else later on in the draft that might not be starting until a little later or a little bit more of a gamble, then yeah, I think I can do that.
You
And
did.
as I did, but we'll talk
Yeah,
about that.
it ended up working out for you,
later.
I think, the Hunter pick here.
Yeah. But yeah, well, let's move over to the 105. Dale.
Not to.
Yeah.
Dale going to Tet. Ray taking Tet. Was that on your bingo sheet?
I
They're
think
obviously,
there
like
was-
you said, they're the same tier. But was Ray taking that wide receiver there after
I think-
moving out of the 101 still in the cards?
I think ultimately he is the pick there. I think there was a clear top 5. I think, in my opinion, Cam would probably be in it in Superflex, but like I think that Tet was the best available. And Bray needs talent everywhere, and so except for maybe quarterback, and so take the best available because you're gonna start him. So I think I don't know. I think the hate's kind of fallen like too far on Tet, in my opinion. I actually like him. Like I'm liking him more and more.
Is it prospect fatigue with Ted?
Okay,
Yeah,
that was my next
and
question. I was
so-
like, I don't see anything much about it, so I don't know whether it's hate
And
or just lack of observation, like spotlight.
he is
or...
gonna be the one in Carolina. So he's gonna beat out Leggett, in my opinion, and
Yeah.
so it's
Drafted,
it's
where did he go? Like pick 10?
yeah, I
Like
think so.
in the real draft?
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was
think he
yeah.
was drafted to beat out Leggett. He was drafted already beating
Yeah,
Leggett.
to be-
Yeah,
he's
I
drafted to
think
be
so.
the
Yeah,
alpha.
yeah, but I think that in the fantasy football community, they're like, oh well, there's Legett's there, and so I think that it doesn't matter. I think also
Yeah, that's a clean one.
also as we've talked about this a few times, but Bryce Young is a better quarterback than a lot of people give him credit for, and he is good enough to feed 2 or multiple receivers, right? He had supported JMO and Smith, right? Am I right, Gary? Was that Bryce Young?
You're talking about at Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Jameson Williams and the kid who got drafted to the
John Mechie?
Texans. Yeah, sorry, Mechie.
Oh, Mechie. Oh, yeah. And then didn't he? But he also had Smith
Yeah,
there too,
yeah.
right? For 1 year.
Yes, yeah, he did.
And then who did he? Was that?
He had
Smith
everyone. He had
and-
everyone there that year. That was Waddle.
Yeah. Yeah. Ultimately, he can support multiple. He's like a good enough quarterback that can support multiple receivers. So I don't think that is going to be an issue. And I think
Quick question.
statistically, he was the best quarterback after their bye, or when he came back, like when he got back from benching, statistically last season. So
Gary, how are we laid out on the screen on your screen? I want
You
to be
got-
able to point at people.
Yeah, so Dale's stage left, then Russell, then you, then me. So you need to.
Okay, we're on a line here.
Yeah,
Dale,
that's me.
no,
that's you.
Gary.
Well, that's
Who's over
Gary.
there?
We're
Nobody
actually on a
passed
line
Gary.
in the
That's me.
bottom.
Okay, so it goes Gary's over here, then
You, then Russell,
me, then Russell, then
and then up and over is Dale. He on the other side of Russell.
I want to be able to point these things. Can I rearrange it?
It was actually really funny because when everyone was like
Wait,
pointing in the
order.
beginning, it was wrong.
If you go back into your like little your 2x2, Alex, are you in the bottom left?
Yeah.
You going to the 2x2? Perfect. Okay, so then ours are this. You're the bottom left. Dale's above you. I'm to your top right. Gary's
Right,
to
but
your...
only one of us is recording.
I understand that, but at the very least, it's consistent. If wherever you point, it will be exactly mapped to wherever his.
Okay, one more time. It goes Gary, then me, then Russell, then Dale.
Yeah.
You just
Yes.
write it down. Also,
Okay, I have that exact layout, but backwards. So we'll see if I can make that.
That's fine. All right. Let.
But yes,
us
I like
go-
Ted. I like Ted at the
Yeah,
one
you like
five,
Ted
basically.
Dale likes
And,
that.
and he didn't need quarterback, and ultimately that's where the value was because like I don't know, Ty wasn't gonna take quarterback. Like Ty also doesn't need quarterback, so like if you're thinking as a drafter, who is going to fall to me at 107? Because that had to have been his thought. Like, what do you want? And it was like Ted. The decision was Ted or I guess one of the 2 tight ends, depending on who you liked, basically the most.
Gotcha. And he snagged that from the trade. That
Yeah, that would have been the pick
that
coming to him
the
from
105
Alex.
incoming from it because that was Brent's, right?
Yeah, I
Alright.
in my heart of hearts, I think he was hoping for Hunter to fall, and so he ended up just taking the other wide receiver.
If that was the case,
Or Henderson. Who knows? But like 5 was such a nice spot. I almost didn't make the trade because I knew that Jeanty would be 1. And so as long as that's the case, I either trade with Ray for the 101 to draft Jeanty, or I wait and then trade for Jeanty. Because of how sexy little spot 5 was for who would fall out of the top 5. But life goes on. Let's move on to 6.
the sticky note was true. Ty found is it Tyler? Or did Tyler find Tyler?
Yep.
at the 106.
Congratulations.
Match made in head. Tyler Warren at the 106. First tight end off the board.
Who do we have in the mock
106
draft?
and tight end premium on the first year of the tight end premium.
Probably Judkins at the time.
Yeah.
Is this about where we thought the
In
first
the
tight end would
mock,
go?
yeah.
Oh no, that would have been Tet because he would have fallen to 6 if Cam was at 3.
Yeah,
Or
I think
Henderson,
I
he
think
would've
we had Warren falling like
I just
maybe
can't see
one
that.
spot after this, just because we thought Cam would go first.
Oh, I think you did. I think you're right. I think we had Ray getting Warren. And they were...
So
This is the right place for Tyler
Yeah.
Warren. Like maybe a plus or minus with Cam Ward is an option, and if you like, maybe Judkins or something. But I think this was about where it was, so I think Ty got a good value.
yeah, I think we were all slightly surprised in the moment, just because Ty also has a pretty solid. Who did he have at tight
Trey
end?
McBride.
Going in?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
he had Trey McBride already. So I think that's why we were all a little bit surprised, and why none of us kind of had him mocked here, like when we were reviewing it. But in the moment, like when we were live in the draft, Ty was like, "Yeah, like this was my draft, no matter what player."
Mhm.
So like he didn't even think about it, and he made this pick pretty quick. So yeah, very. I mean, honestly, a pretty Ty pick. So I think he's
Yeah.
deserving to be the first tight end taken here, and I think this is ADP's about right, especially for superflex. So I think solid pick for Ty, and we'll see if we can get some 2 tight end lineups next season.
Oh, we're definitely getting some 2 tight end lineups.
Yeah.
Out of-
I was
Real
when-
swag is putting a tight end in your super flex spot.
that's what I was just about to ask that. Yeah. Oh man,
I don't
we
think that'll happen. Not with Herbert and Hurts. I don't think that's
Not
gonna
with that
happen.
attitude.
But you never know, I guess.
Yeah.
we were in the chat for a quick second at the 104, and I think when we were doing the mock, you guys were like, you should probably see if Tyler wants to move up. You should let him up. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then 104 hit, and I was just like, well, do I hit him up? And then we just dropped down to the gaming lobby. He's like, no, I have a plan. I'm like, all right, see you later. That's cool.
It's funny because I immediately kidnapped you to go have the same chat, and Ty expressed concern. Like, I just told Russell something that he might tell Elf, and that's very dangerous.
Wait, did he just tell you that he wanted Warren?
Yeah, he was like this. I don't think he said that. He said, I have a name. I have a specific name in mind. And then
Okay.
if he did tell me, I just can't remember.
Honestly, good on Ty, man.
Hey man, you got a plan, stick to it. I love it.
It's more fun when you have a plan than when you're just like,
Draft your dudes. It makes fantasy more
Yeah.
fun.
At the 107, we get that first QB coming off the board from Ray.
We'll
That's
take a
still
second
one
to
of-
talk about how we Ray acquired picks in this draft.
Ray
That we looked at
murdered this
1
draft.
and
Ray
2
murdered.
and 7 and 8
Ray
and a
killed it.
couple seconds. Like, so he
ugh.
Ray has almost rebuilded a couple times, and I think this was a proper rip down rebuild. Looks great.
Oh yeah, no, this was sexy. This was absolutely sexy.
I mean, the picks got a hit. I will offer. Ray and I had conversations about rebuilding, and my rebuild looked great when I ripped it down, built it back up, and then won a championship. But the picks didn't really play out that very well, and so Ray, everything looks great. Hopefully your picks actually hit, because none of mine did. Oh my god.
Prior to the trade with you, and I guess even after the trade with you, he had 6 picks in the first 17. So he had over a third of the draft by pick 18.
Yeah.
Why 18?
I think he had done a really good job of like targeting this draft.
That's when he like stopped, like, I don't know. I just like, that's where he stopped like acquiring a shitload of picks, basically. You know, like he had at one point 101, 102, 5, 7, 8, and then 2, 3, and 2, 5. So that's 7. That's the first 17 picks. So he had 6 there, and then trade the 101 for the 105 and some other stuff.
Is there really anything else to talk about when it comes to Cam Ward? Ray's got a bunch of quarterbacks, but he's either comfortable or an arms dealer, and we're
I think it's worth noting that last year in the rookie draft he took multiple rookie quarterbacks as well. So like he's running into next season in the start of Superflex with Penix, May, Love, Purdy, and Ward. So he definitely has like a pretty nice chest of quarterbacks going into the season, and I think that only helps him continue to pick up value as he rebuilds, because he'll definitely have the opportunity to move some of those guys mid-season once people realize what they're in for with Superflex.
I mean, ultimately, right? I think for him, right, that's what 5 starters.
Yeah,
Right,
5 starters in the league right now.
At
And
present, looking decent starters as well.
Yeah.
and like obviously Penix, May, Ward, the jury's still out on those, but all he really needs is one of them to hit, and then he's set at quarterback. Or if 2 of them hit, he's now holding on to something that's worth a shitload of money. And if you got 4 like top, 10 or top 12, top 20 quarterbacks in Superflex, you trade one of them for a king's ransom.
That being said, who's the market to trade with? Given that they're young quarterbacks, he's going to be looking to move them at young starting quarterback prices. And one thing that we can see in our league is we've got a pretty big disparity on the ones who are willing to make these big trades. We've got a handful of teams in the league that are all in that position of like, hey, I'm trying to rebuild. We're playing from behind the 8 ball, so I can't be sending a bunch of value somewhere. What's Ray going to move a quarterback for?
I don't know.
Either starters, older vets who can help him win a championship, but will he be doing that? I don't know, maybe. So if he's looking for youth or younger things, there's not a lot of teams that can afford it. So I think there's a non-zero chance that Ray is going to be sitting on a treasure trove of quarterbacks and finding it impossible to move them because he can't find a right buyer at the right price.
Well, I think even in that scenario, his team is now so young that even if he's not going to be able to instantly flip them for extra value, he's kind of in a position where he's added so much value. He has time. He's not trying to win immediately, that he kind of has time to sit and wait and see who's going to pop for his team and just take, so he's got 5 QBs. He has a season or 2 to just sit there and see, all right, who's really worth it? You know what I mean? Who are actually my 2 guys from this 5? Because he's got a lot more picks next year as well.
For sure. It's not that he is going to rush out to sell them. It's just that, what I'm saying is he takes that time. He evaluates the roster. Some guys pop, some guys don't, whatever. And then when he's kind of reevaluating, if he wants to sell one, that will be a challenge, I think.
No, for sure.
If he decides not to sell it, then I think he's probably sitting pretty, especially if only one of those 3 hit. Then you've got 3 locked-in starters. I'm good. 2 other guys didn't work out. What can you do?
Yeah,
but
I think
ultimately,
go ahead. Dan.
I think quarterbacks hold their value. Good quarterbacks hold their value longer than anyone else.
Right.
If you're talking 30-year-old wide receiver, running back, right? They're basically free, but they're you get them cheap. Even if they're a top 10 guy, Derrick Henry is a great example, right? Number 3 running back in the league, not an expensive player to acquire as much, but even at 30, a quarterback, you probably got 5 more years of top 10. You trade for somebody that's the equivalent of trading for maybe a 22-year-old running back. So I think that even in 5 years or so, you still those guys are valued. So.
Which is what Ray will know when he's going to sell it, and that's why I think they'll be hard to sell, is because he's not going to sell them at a discount. And even if they don't play out very well early, they're going to retain value. But in either case, it's still a nice problem to
buying
have.
something, right? Buying something, I might give up a year. A team that needs a quarterback, give up a year knowing that, okay, it's I'm out a year, but it's I still got 6 years or 7 years.
Right. And the nice thing is we got plenty of time to see how that all falls out.
For sure.
Move to the 107, not the 108, the 108 still raised. He snags up Cleveland's new running back Judkins. That's the 4th running back to come off the board at the 108. Is this still kind of tracking what we were looking at? I forget how running back heavy we might have been. I know in a couple drafts in other leagues, and 2 different leagues at the very least that I've had, it was 5 running backs gone and within the first half of the draft. How did we see the mock going? And then, is this a good spot? Is this a good landing spot this late or this early? I don't know.
I think this was where we had him. I think our top 8 is the same. It's just slightly mixed up.
I mean, we had Judkins to tie, I believe, in our mock, but I mean, this is the area I feel like he's kind of in this after Henderson. He's kind of potentially the leader in the next 3 running backs. I think it was Judkins, Harvey, Johnson, probably were going in that order, in ADP. So I'm not surprised. I think he gave up Jeanty. He still wanted to grab 2 running backs. So not mad at this at all.
Value's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Landing
I
spot's
like
good.
Judkins.
Ugly quarterback, but he's gonna have so much volume.
Yeah,
And
for
sure.
He's
His
I
show's going,
thought
right?
this
not
could have
as-
been one of
as
the
not
other
as
tight
much
ends.
volume as the next guy, but yeah.
Yeah. I think live in the draft, I thought it could have been Loveland, but I'm not surprised it was Judkins.
At the 109, Dunny snags Gary's new play toy over the Denver Broncos and Mr. Harvey.
I think this one's most surprising to me.
Too early to. What's
I
up?
think it's, in my opinion, it's a little
Not
early. but
needed?
That's not like I think right. If I'm Dunny here, I take Loveland. I don't know.
Dunny
I think he
holding-
needs tight ends more. He's got like a billion tight ends that are.
Let's see
you
here.
know.
Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Justin Hill, or Justice Hill, whatever that guy's name is. Dylan, Chuba Hubbard. Thank God. This keeps going. Tank Bigsby. So what? Chuba Hubbard, Alvin Kamara,
Chuba.
Chuba. Oh, my apologies, Chuba. My bad, Chuba. If you're watching this,
Where's the
Chuba Hubbard, I
ones?
apologize.
I will say,
tight end, he had what? Another
Musgrave,
giant.
Sennett, Theo Johnson, Juwan Johnson, Brenton Strange. Brenton Strange and Ben Sennett are both, I think, interesting, and Luke Musgrave's a little interesting. So I get it. I get. I'm not, because at some point, more darts. Loveland's
It's a
not
lot of
like.
darts, but Loveland's a tight end in a Ben Johnson offense.
Yeah, but he's
like-
also got 7 million different people. Like it's not, I think, the lock. I'm not saying that he's a bad pick at 10 or would have been a bad pick at 9, but if you've got a couple tight ends that you're open to, and I feel like Dunlap's running back group was starting to show the age on the wrong side, and so it seemed like I'm with you, Dale, in that I could have been fine with either, but I thought RJ Harvey made sense. I figured a running back would go to this spot regardless, and I'm a little bit nervous about RJ Harvey specifically with these late risers landing in prime situations. Maybe I'm specifically raw from Clyde, and he's not 102, so that's nice, but I mean, what are you going to do? You say no to Denver's potential joker, you take it.
Yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised if in a year or two, let's say 2 years from now, Loveland's tight end 1. Like it's not the I don't think that's the craziest thing. I think that
tight end 1?
the tight end
probably
1
not over
has
Bowers,
made-
but
I don't know
yeah.
about that.
maybe not over Bowers, but like tight end 2.
Trey
Then,
McBride?
but like
He
Probably still.
I think he's
Loveland
he's
max.
already going in on like some rookie ranking ADP stuff, like startup ADP. Like he's already like a top 7 or 8 guy. So I mean, but that's just the way Dynasty works. These young dudes with a lot of potential are going to get taken a little bit higher. So I will say I just want to make this point here before we move on from 109. I was going back and listening to the little mock draft recording that we did, and I there was like some contention here with like what was going to happen. We were talking about potentially Jackson Dart going here, and I through the whole draft I was like, meh. I was like just kind of poo-pooing Jackson Dart kind of going in the first, but it felt like the value was there, so like I definitely understood that. But I will say that there was a, I know Alex said this. Alex is like, yeah, not running back here.
For who? For Dunny?
Yeah. Because I was arguing that his running, because we were having like the Chuba argument, and I was like, dude, no one's getting excited about that. And you're like, well, he was fucking RB15, and I was like, I don't fucking care. Like, and you know, his other running backs are old, and
I'm excited about it.
yeah.
Even though
But, so yeah, I
just
just have to pat myself on the back because I fucking nailed that Dunny old school ass was gonna pick a running back here. But I still think that it's a pretty interesting pick. Value wise, ADP wise, I think this is actually right. Like I think this is where rookie ADP is. So, because like you said, late riser, whether that's, you know, how that plays out.
Right.
Obviously, as a Broncos fan, I'm hoping it plays out. But I was really happy that this pick happened.
Because at the 110, you took
Colston Loveland, baby.
Now, on that subject, here's Sam Laporta in his rookie year with Ben Johnson, the one that's got everyone all excited, right? He finishes as the tight end 1 with 120 targets, 86 receiving receptions, 889 yards. That's not the big deal. 10 touchdowns is the big deal. The reason why I'm a little bit concerned with Loveland in year 1 at least is that in the second year with Ben Johnson, as other weapons got healthy and the offense itself continued to evolve, he finished as the tight end 7 in half PPR with 83 targets compared to 120 the year before, 60 receptions compared to 86, so it looks like he converted a little bit better. Still 7 touchdowns. But so when the Lions had
He was also
Amon
hurt
Ra and
last year.
Jamison Williams, and they've got Jahmyr Gibbs all taking large chunks of the offense. Maybe Jamison Williams wasn't large chunks, but that to me says that we definitely don't have the same competition in the backfield the way that they had Jahmyr Gibbs. Like they don't. The DeAndre Swift is not Jahmyr Gibbs no matter how you slice it. So not that Loveland will be bad, but he's still going to be probably behind DJ Moore, probably behind one of either Luther Burden or Roma Dunze. One of those two are probably going to pop. And then that puts him probably third. I mean, that's not a bad thing. Like, he's still a beast. Like, I think it's still a good pick, and I think the value at 10 is awesome. But a small asterisk on his year one production.
No, for sure. And when I made this pick, I kind of already had that going in, and I sent out a bunch of offers to a lot of different people like in this mid to late first range, because my whole plan here is just I needed a succession plan to Kelsey. And so I still have Kelsey to roll out this year. I still have a couple of dudes, I have Gesicki and Njoku for spot starting depending on how Kelsey plays out, but I just with the way that my team is, I just needed to shore up a couple of those older spots at running back and tight end, and I felt like at 110, like you said, a top 10 drafted tight end in the NFL draft, this was probably one of my most opportune times to come up here and make sure that I'm solid at tight end going into Superflex for the future. So I definitely made this pick not thinking that I'm going to play him this year. And obviously there's always a chance that someone pops, but he's definitely a pick for the future. 100%.
This was Ty's pick at 110. I also was kind of knocking on Ty's door to get up to this area to try to take Jackson Dart. It didn't work out. Gary got the pick. That's fine. But this was where I was trying to target for Dart as well. Good pick.
Let's see here.
I also asked about pick 11. Technically pick 12, knowing who Dale wanted here and not trying to step on that. I'm glad this worked out for you, bud.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that. So, wait, are we on to pick 11 now?
No, you can go ahead.
That was my transition, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Oh.
Yeah, I was getting nervous, that he wouldn't be on the board.
The worst kept secret of the rookie draft is that Dale wanted Egbuka at 111.
Dale wanted.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Is Jeanty at 1 not the
That's
L?
a fair question as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a secret.
But was it a secret?
It wasn't a secret when he paid a small fortune for it. Yeah, I was I'm excited. I think right. I think this is another pick that is not this year, very Loveland. I don't think this year. There'll probably be sparks and flashes, and ultimately Mike Evans or Chris Godwin are gonna miss some time due to a hamstring injury at some point this year, and then I think that's when he'll blow up and you'll see but then he'll kind of go away
Scotty
when
Miller showing.
then he'll go away a little bit, but they're both in 30, 29 years old, so there's not many years left for either of them, I think, with the Bucks, as much as I love both of them.
I would have Egbuka significantly higher as a talent than Jalen McMillan, but do you have any concerns about how McMillan popped for a second and then is clearly dead in the water with the Egbuka pick?
I don't. I think that Egbuka is the 3 in this offense now. I also
should look at Dale.
The 3 in this offense, I think that he will take, I think that when he has the opportunity that he's gonna he will be the slot guy for the Bucks, and then I think that Godwin's biggest year was him in the slot. I think now he's moving out to the outside, but yeah. Ultimately Baker Mayfield is with the Bucks long term. He's got a quarterback. I'm excited this year, especially those 3. If you line up with those 3 receivers, as your receiving core, that's
they definitely need to go 4 wide this year.
They'll probably go 4 wide. Yeah, and just get them both in, and then you got Bucky in the backfield. I should be wearing my Bucky creamsicle jersey, but for this next time. Next time we'll have to wear jerseys. We'll plan ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
I got a sweet Bucky. I got a Bucky creamsicle jersey. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited as a fan. I'm excited as a fantasy manager. Like, when we started this league, I drafted Mike Evans, and it
That's fun.
took
I like that.
a lot to trade him away, and now I have another buck. I haven't had a buck since, basically. So
Really?
yeah.
Damn.
So I'm excited.
I won't be surprised when we pull up this draft board in a few years and say, "Damn, Egbuka at 111 was really good value." So
Yeah.
All right.
He was. Yeah.
Then to round off to finish off the end of the first, finishing off the end of the first. To finish the first round, Gary and a trade. That was an in-draft trade, right?
yeah, this was Dale's original pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to us
And I
about
made
that,
Gary's
and then
original pick.
taking Mr. Johnson there, running back from Pittsburgh at the 112.
So me and Dale had like a bunch of pre-draft conversations about making a potential trade here, because my thinking was, I knew I was going to try to get up for a tight end, and if that didn't work, or I was trying to get up for a running back here at the end of the first. I was hoping that running back would be RJ Harvey, honestly. But even after Harvey went and I saw Kaleb still on the board at 112, I felt like it was still worth it for me to get up here. So we'd kind of had like some talks for an offer to be in place. And honestly, this was just me trying to future-proof the roster a little bit. Like it's already in a really good spot, but I've traded a lot of picks, and a lot of future picks. So I just felt like this was a good opportunity at a decent price to get up and future-proof tight end at 110 and start getting some younger running backs. As I have Bijan, but I'm also depending on Saquon and CMC behind him. So I felt like in this draft, I just was going to try to pop off and get as many rookie running back shots as I could. And I think I ended up in this draft drafting like after Kaleb Johnson, all my picks were rookie running backs. So I think I overall drafted like 5 rookie running backs in this draft. So that was kind of the strat going in. And it was just palatable enough for me to get up. And I actually like Kaleb, honestly. I feel like this is going to end up being a decent value at the end of the first.
This was another pick that Gary pulled off when I had to try to negotiate. I don't know if we had a deal on the table quite, but we were close. Point being, I also was trying to come to 112 again for Jackson Dart. So that's 2 first-round trades that Gary snaked out from under me.
Alex, can we get an Alex trade counter? Trade
Yeah. Owned counter.
Owned bing. Yeah, first round. This was a fun draft. I don't know, like see coming into it with Ray having so much capital in it, was really cool to see. I mean, it's always even when you Alex owned a couple of those drafts as far as like 30 to 40% of the picks and like that. It's always fun to see one player either taking them or taking 10 minutes to have everybody in their DMs.
It does focus the strategy and the storylines into a particular roster, a particular person. So that does make for fun.
Frankly, it makes it a little easier to not. I won't say easier to predict, but there's just a lot. I don't want to say less variables. I don't have to worry about 12 different teams doing 12 different things. It's only 5 or 6 doing 1 or 2 different
charm
things.
on that one there.
Well, we got there.
Before we move on, I just want to put this out there for the whole league. Win Johnson has like in fantasy points has a ton of points next season because the Steelers hand him the ball 450
We're gonna murder him. We're going to murder him.
And Gary tries to trade him for a bunch. Nobody do it. That's
Dude, nobody trades with me anymore anyways.
When he averages 1.1 yard a carry, but ends up with 400 points or something like that.
Brother. Nah.
Gary snaking 2 trades out from under me in the first round. Nobody wants to trade with me anymore.
I'm talking about. I can always do in draft trades because people are like more willing in the moment when there's like a 10-minute timer on them. But like in season, nobody wants to do like player for player trades with me.
Maybe
or everyone makes me pay like a certain premium because they're like, well, you know.
Well, yeah, I think that's a.
Have you seen your roster?
Of a lot of players?
Yeah, no, I mean it's
Also,
true.
yes,
I'm still just saying like I'll have a hard time moving like players. I think I have a hard time moving players. That's all I'm saying.
I find that player for player is tough when like it's much more palatable. I mean, not palatable, but I agree that I feel like player for player has always been tough, and that's why like during the season I feel like it's always cash.
Yeah.
Is the only currency, and then you can spend it during the draft on other bullshit. So I agree, though. It is tough. It is tough.
Was there anything that happened in this first round that maybe just took you by surprise? I mean,
Two things.
Us going through it seemed pretty palatable at the very least.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex.
Standard.
Well, I already talked about which two things caught me by surprise.
The trade-ups. I'll just say that I was surprised that Ray ended up moving off the 101. I honestly was surprised. I know in the mock draft episode we did last week, we were talking about potential pricings, and I think Alex ended up getting the pick for slightly cheaper than we said. It was the same amount of picks, but my first was included rather than one of the other, I think, better probability firsts. So like I was surprised that happened. I was a little surprised that Cam Ward fell all the way to 1-7, being this is the last rookie draft going into Superflex, and there are quite a few teams who passed on him that I think could have definitely used him. So those are probably like the two, honestly, the only two things I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And really just going into like the overall draft, I kind of just want to hit on, 8 quarterbacks were taken and 7 tight ends were taken. So with the setting changes going to Superflex and tight end premium, I think that we saw that reflected with the quantity of those positions taken in the draft, but I still think that they were slightly cheaper than they will be going forward in this draft as far as where they went. Jackson Dart being a first-round quarterback taken in the NFL draft that fell out of the rookie first. So I thought that was notable, even though Alex was trying to write that wrong and move up and get him. But I also was a little surprised that only Mason Taylor went in the second round at tight end. I thought Arroyo and Ferguson were also like pretty touted, at least ADP wise. At least Arroyo, I think he's probably ADP second round like every day.
I was going to take him there at the end of the second but I traded all those picks away. So
are we gonna go through the second, or are we gonna cut it at the first? I guess we're gonna short on time today.
Yeah, we're about an hour right now.
Today. Is that so?
Actually, no, wait. I'm cutting like the first 15 minutes. So
that was my next question. How much time are you cutting?
I don't know.
15 minutes?
Something like
that.
I'm still on
the
clock, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm still on the clock.
Let's just go.
I don't mind just dipping out and saying bye, and you guys can keep going. I got no problem.
We could also
with that
do the second round in a follow-up episode because we have all summer with nothing to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair. Then let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
I was about to go in to see other overall thoughts on the draft and just like how the draft day go for you as far as trades and stuff like that, sending it to
content machine, baby.
You.
But we made this podcast for a while.
If you guys are good, then I say we do a nice clean shave right there. I'm bad with words. I don't know why I do these
for a host
things
of a
that
podcast.
speak. Yeah.
I need to work on my transition skills.
Very
The
odd.
transitions were really shit on the recording, so you guys can
Yeah.
laugh at those.
Well, this is one of the first times that we've got Gary piloting the recording.
Yes,
Like,
that's right.
One thing. Hey, everyone, come along with the. For those of you that are new around the ADHD podcast, let's talk a little history. So back when the podcast started, we each had separate audio recordings. So usually it was me, Russell, and Gary, and Russell was the host, Gary was data, and then I produced the podcast, and they'd send me the files. I did all the editing, but I didn't want to do that anymore. And then as the time went on, the podcast sort of shifted in tone and, let's be honest, production quality when we stopped editing and started just letting the thing rip. But we got better.
He means when I started editing. And
to be fair, Russell used the word editing in a different context than I used it, and so Russell edited differently than I would have edited. Which I'm not saying is worse. I'm just saying your objectives were different. But
Sometimes lost.
and we had more lost footage with Russell at the helm than we had with anyone else at the helm, which the only person was me. So we're 1v1. But this structure could work. Russell hosting, Dale present, Gary. I think this OBS thing works because we get the scenes from you. I can start to add more of the sounds back in because I have not yet ever touched Discord's drops and sound stuff, and that's a big one.
Yeah, we can definitely add in more sound bar stuff. I think on my screen it kind of like pops up, but
Yeah, and we can talk about all the BTS stuff
after the
BTS.
I wanted to
button.
share this. Share this.
Yeah.
Behind the
Hold this for a
scenes.
moment. And now get the hell out. Thanks, y'all.
Pay your fucking bills.
round.
Dale needs his money.
Oh yeah, pay your dues.
$75.
$75.
Hey, Dale.
Yeah, this was fun. I like the video. I like seeing you guys. You know, I like seeing you guys, all of you guys.
Are you just trying
and
to
every single one of you guys.
Oh, I see.
love seeing you.
Dude, where's
You
my
know.
ring? I need it.
it's in the
See
mail,
you later,
actually.
everybody. Goodbye. You cut this whenever you want to, Gary.
Later, y'all.
Take care.
Peace.
Go Again.